Hey, this is Kaufman is Alive YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old, and today I'm looking at a new comic book, Monolith number 3 of 3. This is the final issue of this Monolith miniseries. As you can see, it's a Spawn Universe title. Valerio Giangiordano is the artist. He's on the cover here and on interiors. And Sean Lewis is the writer. Really kind of weird cover. If you've been reading the other two issues of Monolith that came out, you might notice this actually looks like the child version of Monolith. And he's got these really cool giant like spinning saw blades, like alien looking weapons, and it looks like he's like trying to saw through the mouth of a giant ant. There's like a bunch of ants in the background too. I couldn't figure out what this was at first. At first glance, these looked like two big eyeballs or something, but they're giant saws, and there's giant teeth here on the ants. Um, really weird cover, and it doesn't really play into anything that goes on in this book at all. There is one panel where there's some ants and bugs buzzing around here, around these dead bodies. That's about it. I mean, there's not even really anything else to it other than that. I do want to point out the logo too. I love this, like, it's almost got kind of a throwback logo to it. Doesn't really match with the rest of the artwork, but I really like it. Just a good comic book style logo. So the previously in Monolith little blurb here is nice and succinct and really tells you what happened in the last couple issues. It says Omega Spawn and Monolith battle through the cosmos, eventually falling through a tear in time. So yeah, that's about it. That does pretty much sum up what happened in the last two issues. Um, so for what this book kind of lacks in some plot, it certainly makes up for in art and action. It's just Omega Spawn and Monolith beating the crap out of each other for 3 straight issues, basically. Um, they've been hurled back through time, although at the end of the last issue, and they don't know where really in time that they are, but they slowly start to figure it out as there's just dead human bodies everywhere. And there doesn't seem to be any sign of human life. But all of their, giant fortresses are all still standing. All the technology from humans is still there. So Monolith is slowly starting to figure out that they're in some future where all the humans were killed, possibly by Monolith or Omega Spawn. So, and then I like this panel a lot, very demonic looking. Omega Spawn comes upon these like worshippers who have like this voice recording of them praising their return after they've all been slaughtered. So that's really creepy. We learned basically that Gaia, who's like a godlike figure in the Spawn universe, basically like the Beyonder from like Secret Wars, just took these two guys, Omega and Monolith, and transported them to where she wanted them to have battle. So Monolith sees all the dead scorched here, this is a really cool panel, one of my favorites in this whole series. We've got She Spawn, there's Medieval Spawn, and Redeemer here, and they've been killed. And it says, before Spawn would rise from fire of his second death, before Simmons would own the world, but after these Hellspawn fell to their deaths, or worse, before they were sacrificed. So it's hinting at Spawn dying and coming back again, and Simmons owning the world, and also to the fact that he possibly even sacrificed these scorched team members. So a lot of interesting stuff that Sean Lewis had been setting up in Spawn, but dating back a couple years. it's now all starting to come to fruition. A lot of the pieces are starting to make a lot more sense and come together more thanks to this miniseries. So I'll just say right now off the bat, I would recommend picking this up. If you're a fan of Spawn, this really puts some of the pieces together. So again, Monolith, he says quick instincts might be all he has left at this point, and he's trying to just fend for his life against Omega Spawn. But then we see another actor come into play here from the shadows, and it's the Plague Spawn, who we saw debut around the same time as Monolith back in the Spawn titles. He's supposedly the first Spawn, like the original symbiote that Hell tried to use, and they ended up discarding him because he didn't work properly how they wanted him to act. And so he's basically just been lurking in the shadows for millennia, and Gaia's brought him here to Earth to wipe out all of the rest of Earth and just start it over how she wants it to be. And she sent Omega and Monolith here, basically in the path of Plague Spawn, just to see what they were made of. So, like I said, she's kind of like the Beyonder. She's just toying with these all these entities to try and see who is the most powerful. And then it says that she knew she had gone terribly wrong when he defiantly appeared, the deity they would call Future Spawn. So we get a first appearance here of this character, this new Spawn called Future Spawn, and it actually says this is a version of Al Simmons, and he's got this hammer of life that has these like weird implements on it, almost look like impaling objects. He's got the cool shoulder pad with the spikes and the skulls, and cape over the other shoulder. Pretty cool design. They're really going overboard on all these Spawn variants. You got, Monolith Spawn, Omega Spawn, Plague Spawn, She Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and now we got Future Spawn. So, and basically, this Future Spawn is the most powerful, deity in the universe, and it says here that he even comes and kills Gaia eventually. And he sends Monolith. Well, first they send Omega Spawn through a portal, get rid of him, and then they send Monolith back through time into the future before the humans were all killed to try and stop that from happening. So that's basically the setup here. I like this shot of Plague and Future Spawn here. All the green light. And final splash page to end it as they walk off together, almost like a new team formed in here of Plague, Monolith, and Future Spawn. So it says, although he doesn't know it yet, he's taken his first step towards the legacy, one that will one day include the phrases Monolith, Savior of Earth, Savior of the Galaxy. Everything you thought you know begins here. So, really cool book. I've really enjoyed all 3 issues. Probably could have condensed all 3 issues into like a one-shot special, honestly. I mean, the first 2 issues, not a whole lot really going on other than some fun action, and, that's about all I can really say about it. But I like how this all kind of ties a lot of elements from Spawn storyline elements from the last few years together. So I'll recommend it based on all that, and it's got some really great artwork too. So thanks again for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do, and go check out the channel. I've got daily comic book reviews, and I'll see you on the next one.